Hey guys, welcome to Mrs. G's Sewing Space. I'm glad you are with us today. We are going to be talking about zippers and the kinds of zippers there are. Now, I'm only showing you the type of zippers that I have in my sewing room right now. There are more types out there. I just don't have access to them, and I have so many zippers. I have a bucket of zippers, and I kind of need to get through those before I go out and buy more. So I'm trying to work from a stash. Ugh. It's hard to do when you want to go buy new things. I'm trying to work from my stash. So we're going to talk about zippers today, and I'm going to show you the ones that I have and how to install them. So we're going to start with the basics. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in here real quick to let you know before we continue with the video that the rest of this video is going to be explaining the zippers that I have and the zipper feet. My next video will be the lap zipper. The video after that will be the centered zipper, and the video after that will be the invisible zipper. So I have 4 videos in a row coming regarding zippers. So I'm going to have a whole short little series about it, and I'll put it all together on a playlist once it all comes out. And so now we're going to go back to the video. This is the basic pant zipper, and it's usually called a pant zipper. Alright, so this zipper is a typical, just a regular old pant zipper. It is a nylon coil, meaning the teeth here in the middle are made out of a plastic nylon. There's no metal except for the stopper here at the bottom and the stoppers here at the top. Oop, there you go. There's the stoppers at the top. So metal here, metal with the pull, and metal at the bottom. Everything else is a plastic coil and then the fabric. This is typically the zipper that's used on most everything. Just about. There are specialty zippers, and we'll get into those. But whenever I'm sewing clothes, when I'm ever doing pants and I'm doing a fly front, this is the zipper that I tend to use. When I'm doing machine embroidery projects that are zip top bags or zippy bags, this is the zipper that I tend to use. So this is very similar to the pant zipper that I used, that I just spoke about. This also has the metal pull here. It has the metal stops at the top and at the bottom. But this is an actual zipper purchased in Singapore, so it's slightly different than what I've ever found here in America. The coils here in the middle, the teeth are still plastic nylon, so that's awesome. It just looks slightly different than what you would find here in the US. The coils aren't lying on top. Let's see, can I get a good look at that? The coils aren't lying on top, but they're kind of hidden to the inside, and I think that's a pretty unique zipper. My husband bought a whole bunch of zippers for me in Singapore, and that's what we're looking at right now. This is another zipper that was purchased in Singapore. This one has metal teeth. It does have the fabric, a twill fabric, so it's a little stronger than the polyester in the other zipper. This has a different pull to it, so it's more decorative. This is meant to be shown and not hidden away. And we still have our metal stoppers here at the top and here at the bottom. I haven't taken my tag off yet. It's a shorter zipper, so I'm not positive. I guess I'll use a little zipper bag or a little purse or something like that. This could be used for jeans, but because this is supposed to be shown, that's why it's a decorative pull. I'm not sure if it would work with jeans or not, but hey, whatever floats your boat, right? You're sewing. This is a 2-part zipper. So you see this zipper right here. It's the typical metal pull. This one has plastic at the top, the plastic stop at the top, and it separates at the bottom. So when you pull this apart, so this would be like for jackets or coats, because you have 2 parts here. So you have a 2-part zipper because it comes completely apart, and it's just like your zipper for your coat or your jackets. And there you go. And this one's totally made out of plastic, and this is a Ykk zipper. Ykk zippers are very popular and known to be good quality zippers. So here we go. And like I said, I was going to use it, so I had marked it, but I decided not to. This zipper is unique in the way that it looks. If you see here, there's no teeth on the top. They're invisible. There are the teeth on the back and the bottom. So the back and the bottom here, the teeth are hidden on the back. And this is an invisible zipper. There's a particular way you insert invisible zippers. It's not the same way as a normal zipper. So there you go. You have this one has a plastic stop here at the top, and it has a plastic stop here at the bottom. The only metal part is the pull, the zipper pull itself. And you can always tell the difference between an invisible zipper and a regular zipper. Usually they have different pulls, and it's kind of decorative right here because normally when you put an invisible zipper in, the zipper pull is supposed to be shown. So if you think of the back of a dress where you don't see the zipper but you see the pull hanging out, that's because you need to find it and it's supposed to be shown, but not the zipper itself. Whereas this pull is supposed to be hidden. It's just utility right at that point. Now this zipper is a little different. I actually pulled this out from my son's backpack. He had a backpack, it was getting holes in the bottom, and I wanted to keep the zipper. And I accidentally punched a hole in it as I was trying to take it out. So if I patch that up, it should still be good. But here is a double pull zipper, which opens and closes in the middle, just like a purse. If you wanted, or a backpack, in this case, this was a backpack. But I am very careful not to pull the zipper pulls all the way off, just because I don't want them to fly off. And I don't, there's no stopper pull here until I put one in myself with hand stitching or sewing it to something. So I'm very careful in making sure that my pulls stay in the middle and not fly off the ends. Okay, now that we've talked about the zippers that I have, and our most common zippers are going to be the Pant Zipper with the coils on top and the invisible zipper with the coils underneath, I'm going to show you how to install just these two. Other zippers you can install in similar ways. They're pretty much the same once you get the hang of this one. The invisible zip will have to be installed slightly different, but I'll show you how to do both of them. After all my ironing I had to get done. So when you start an application of a zipper, you need to make sure that everything is ironed. First thing you saw me do was to iron the fabric. So you want to make sure that where you are placing the zipper is nice and flat. There are no wrinkles, so you can place the zipper. The second thing I did was to add a strip of interfacing. So that white stuff, it didn't look quite like fabric, it looks kind of like a felted something or another. It had glue dots on the back. So when you saw me rubbing my finger, those were glue dots that are hard and bubbly on the texture, and that goes against your fabric for you to iron down. The iron will heat it up, it will melt it, and then it would take the interfacing, which is a non-bias fabric. I'm not even sure exactly what it is. It just looks like felted. So if you look at it really closely, it looks like the fabric fibers are all over the place. Because if you're looking at a woven fabric, they go up and down, they go left to right. Knits are loops, so they go in and out of each other. But the interfacing is just kind of felted, where the fabric fibers are all over the place. Then they add the glue dots and you iron it on. And what this does, it keeps your fabric from stretching when you are inputting the zipper. And that's what you need, because if you don't strengthen your fabric with the interfacing, it'll stretch and then you'll get waves in your zipper. And the last thing you saw me do was to iron my invisible zipper. Now, I know it's kind of odd when you hear about that. You don't necessarily want to iron your zippers. You'll hear a lot of people say that for the nylon zippers, anything that has a nylon coil to it, that you'll melt the zipper. And it's true. It's happened a couple of times where I left my iron on too long. But if you saw, I was constantly moving it so I could flatten it out. And this is what it looks like when it's completely flattened. You have your coil here at the top, and your tape has been ironed flat to the back. And this will help you get a close stitch to that coil so that when you actually sew the fabric on, it'll be invisible and there won't be a gap there. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our zipper feet. Now, our zipper feet, I have 3 different feet. The foot that came with my machine is this one. You can see the letter E on it, and that E indicates what foot I need to use whenever I'm sewing with it. And you have a gouge here on the left and on the right. And that is where your needle goes, on the either left side of the coil or the right side of the coil. I recently purchased this one. This foot is a narrow zipper foot. It's very similar to the foot that I had, but it makes it narrow. And there were actually metal bits here that got in the way of my needle, so I had my husband Dremel them out. So this is the same. The holes go on either on the left or the right side of the needle. So you need to make sure you position your needle right there in the middle. But it's a 1/4 inch foot, so it allows you to get closer to the zipper teeth on a regular zipper. This is an invisible zipper foot. So this looks kind of funny because you wouldn't think it looks like a zipper foot, but if you turn it over, you see the grooves here in the back? The grooves here in the back allow the coil to flow through so that you can get the closest possible stitch to the zipper teeth for the invisible zipper foot. This will not work on a regular zipper. It will only work on an invisible zipper. So I'm going to show you how to use all 3 of them today. And this is the zipper foot that came with my machine, so I'm going to put this on. So on all sewing machines, you should have a lever here up underneath. Make sure your presser foot is up, and then there's a lever here on the back. Pop that off. That's my standard zigzag foot. I'm actually going to store that away in the box that I have all my zipper feet in it, so it doesn't get lost. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2 because I don't want them to get lost either. And depending on how you are putting your zipper on depends on what side your foot goes on. Now, looking at my fabric here and where my zipper is, I'm going to place my foot, whoops, try that again. I'm going to place my foot so it runs along the seam, my coil like this. You see? So it runs along my coil like this. So this little hole right here is where my needle will go. And there's a groove right here in the back. See that groove? That's where the coil slides. So the coil will slide right into that groove as it's stitched down. And so I want to make sure that I line it up just like that. So you can also unzip it and do it that way as well. Especially if you're sewing and you don't want your zipper foot in the way, you can unslide it. So the coil will still go there under that groove, and the coil will also slide along your foot right here. But that means I have to have the shank of my sewing machine here on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and sew right down this line. Now this is going to be slightly awkward just because you can't see your zipper coil, but you can feel it, and you'll be able to feel it here as well. You can feel the coil right here and the coil right here by the foot of the presser, right there. You can feel it. So as long as you can feel it, you can sew without looking. So we're going to do a couple of stitches down. Okay? And then I'm going to leave my needle in the fabric. I'm going to lift my presser foot. And since I took some stitches, I can actually move my pull to the top. Now it takes some finagling. It's not simple. You're going to have to wiggle. Let's see. There you go. Okay. So now I can put my presser foot back down. Both the coils are going through the groove and against my foot here, and I'm just going to keep on sewing. And when I come to a pin, take it out, set it aside, and keep on. there you go. And there's 1/2 of my zipper sewn. So now, okay, and here you go. So this is what the zipper looks like with it installed with the traditional dress or pant zipper, or the zipper that you would use, or this is the zipper you would use for zippy bags or anything like that. And that's how you use that foot. Now, the only difference between these 2 feet is that my bar here has 2 positions, which I have to take the foot off the shaft, my foot shaft here, and I have to move it left or right on either side. For this one here, I don't move the foot myself, I change my stitch width. So if I put this on here, whoop, wrong one. If I put it on here, I have to move the needle. So I have to make sure my needle's at the highest position here, and then I go into my width and I move it there. So watch my needle. Alright, here's my needle right here. See my needle? So I have to position my needle to the left or right into the grooves on each side of the presser foot in order for it to sew properly. And I have to avoid hitting the presser foot. So in doing that, I change the width of my stitch. I either make the width longer or shorter depending on where I need my needle at. Right here, my needle is at 0, 0, where it would hit a straight stitch. And you can see it goes in and it clears the foot just right. If I needed to, let's see, we'll just go down, make a stitch. For my machine, it always has to be at the highest most position in order to move my width. So if I needed to move my width to the other side, you see how the needle moves? I think it's 5, 5. I think it's 5.5. And here at 5.5 is where my needle will clear the foot and make a stitch with no problems. And I realize I just stitched over my presser foot, but I will go back and cut that out. So that's the difference between this foot and my regular sewing foot. So I have to move the foot here, and I have to move my needle here on this one. Alright, next is my invisible foot. So I don't know if you saw as well last time for my invisible foot. Here is the back of the invisible foot. You see the groove? So the coils of the zipper go here and allows us to stitch. Here on your invisible zipper, your needle needs to be in the middle position. And then you're going to slide your zipper in on the opposite side. So you would think your coils would go on the left, but it doesn't. It goes all the way over here on the right. So as you're sewing, you're getting as close to the coils as possible, and the needle's going in the middle position. So let's start from the top. Here we go. And let's take a couple of stitches. And remove the needles, the pins as you go. Did you guys learn anything new? Was I able to show you what you needed to know on how to install zippers and what are the more common ones that you can find at Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby? I hope you were able to understand what I was trying to share with you guys. Now this is just basic beginner sewing information. Techniques on inputting zippers are just about the same, and you can usually find more information somewhere else. But because my channel is a beginning sewer channel, if you want to learn more advanced techniques, please let me know and I can show you that information. But you guys got to let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you're interested in the more advanced techniques, the more couture techniques, because I know how to do it couture. I'm a lazy sewer, and so I'd rather just do it with my zipper foot and get it in and out and not have to worry about it. But sometimes you want that hand-stitched couture look, and I can show you how to do that too. Not necessarily the prettiest looking thing in my opinion, but that's just me, and if you want to know, I can show you. So remember, links are always downstairs in the description box. subscribe and like this video. Share it with all your friends and family and neighbors and anybody else who wants to sew. And I will see you guys in the next video.